Hi, Cheryl Cook here, the Business Growth Coach, answering some of your questions. Here's a question that comes in from Allison. How is it that you use social media? Well, in fact, on social media, I'm on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and I see those social media as an extension of my branding. And remember that branding is everything that you do, everything about your business that people see. The way you talk, the way you appear, what you say, not only in your website, on your business card. It's not simply, one little thing. It's everything that you do. So I use social media in terms of how people get to know me a little bit better. So I use, as I said, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And it gives me a presence out there. You never know how folks are going to look at your business. So whether they're going to find a way to just find out more about you, or if they're actually going to connect with you to actually become a client of yours. And I've had social media work for me both ways. So it appears to some of you folks out there that I must be on social media all the time. And in fact, what I do is once a week, I schedule out certain tweets or certain posts on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. There are programs that help you do this. One in particular that's a lot of folks used is called Hootsuite, HOOTSUITE.com. Hootsuite is a way for you to not only monitor a lot of things about your social media, but it also helps you to pre-schedule your posts that you're going to put out there in social media. So in fact, I am not on social media all day long, as it might appear that I am. I'm simply putting posts out there. There's even a new website that I came across the other day that I actually analyze when the best time is for you to schedule tweets. It has like a buffer. You can put information out there that you want to share with folks that you might come across, that might come across you. And it has a buffer so that it'll put tweets out there or posts out there at pre-scheduled intervals, and especially at intervals that it knows folks are reading. So if you think about the folks that you know, if you're particular on LinkedIn, for instance, if you just scan through the folks that you're connected with on LinkedIn, think about the last time that person came to mind for you. Now, what happens for me, because I post on a regular basis in specifically LinkedIn, which you wouldn't think of necessarily as a place where people post, but because I'm there on a regular basis, anytime someone goes into LinkedIn that's connected to me already, my name pops up in front of them because my posts are there. Think about Twitter or Facebook. The same way, you may not have thought about one of your friends in particular that you're friends with on Facebook. You may not have thought about them for a while. And it's because they're not coming up on a regular basis. So by posting on a regular basis, even though, of course, my secret is once a week, Sunday night, I schedule out my posts for the week. I spend maybe an hour once a week doing that. Now, that's not to say that I don't spend a little more time during the week, occasionally responding to folks who might send me a message in particular, or who might have, and that's what you want, is engagement in the various social medias. So it is definitely a place where I can not only have a presence, and I become more top of mind to folks, but it's also a place where I might also gain the trust of someone enough so that they want to be a client of mine. As an example, you want to think of social media very much like going to a meeting. You don't instantly walk into that meeting and go, hey, I got a special on, you want to buy this from me, hey, I'm having a sale, buy this, buy this, buy this. You know that folks that you run across at meetings who come across that way, are folks you don't want to spend much time with. You're heading for the other side of the room when someone comes in like that. I remember a meeting I went to in particular, I think it was a women's roundtable or something. The person that I was sitting next to had some questions about social media, and I was giving her tips about how she could use it for her business. Just sharing information with her. And I think I might have followed up with her and gave her some other ideas. And you know what? That person became a client of mine. So when you're on social media, it's like you're visiting in person with a person sitting next to you. So think about the interactions that you have. Very few of your interactions are going to be of the buy me now type. Occasionally you can put those in. I kind of think of it like 80-20. So 80% of what I put out there is great information, and you know that I love quotes. So a lot of times what I'm putting out there are quotes, business related quotes, and just sharing information with other folks. And on a maybe 20% or less, I'm actually sharing links to my newsletter, sharing links to upcoming opportunities that folks might want to take advantage of. So we kind of use it that way in terms of how I actually schedule things out. So they're very easy ways for you to not be spending all of your time doing social media, even though it looks like you're doing that. Got another question here. This one comes in from John. How do I determine where I spend my time and my dollars? Well, I have a way of determining how I invest my time, and you notice the change in wording there. I don't use the word spend, but I look at it as an investment. So first of all, if you've followed me for any length of time, you know that I am quite focused on setting goals and being very diligent about keeping my focus on those goals and doing only those things that contribute to achieving those goals. I also, because I'm an entrepreneur, and you know how entrepreneurs are, we chase the bright, shiny object, and so we need a way to keep us focused. So I help my clients, and I do this for myself first, of course, but so in particular, I ask clients to think about what's most important for them for the next 12 months. So let's just say that the most important thing is generating revenue. Then I ask them, what's the second most important thing that you can focus on in your business over the next 12 months? And let's just say it would be profits. So in that case, the visibility that being in a leadership position in a professional organization, that probably is not going to contribute to generating revenue or generating profits. Might be able to do that in the long term, but in the next 12 months, that's probably not going to happen. So I look in terms of what my focus is. That's how I determine how I'm going to spend my time and invest my time. But the other way is knowing, for instance, the value of my clients. Well, my clients are priceless, of course, but when I speak of knowing the value of your clients, how much revenue does a client generate? So you think about what's one sale, and then what would you generate maybe from repeat sales from your client? So I took a recent client, and her first purchase with me was an online training for $297. The second thing that she purchased was a monthly training for $10. So that adds up to $120 over a year's period of time. The third sale was a bigger investment. That was almost $3,000. So I can add up all of those, and that's going to be the revenue from that one particular client in probably an 18-month period. Now, my clients generally spread the word for me. Your clients do this for you as well. They tell someone else who tells someone else, but it's generally they just rave about the results that they're getting. And so at the very least, I get a referral from 1 out of 2 clients that actually invests with me. So let's just play devil's advocate here, and let's say only half of those. I'm only going to count half of those. So if I get a new client 25% of the time, I can add up all of that revenue that I mentioned before, the $297, the $120, almost $3,000, and take 25% of that and add that onto the total. And in 18 months, the value of that one client is almost $4,000. So then, when I think about investing my dollars, let's say a Chamber of Commerce, what's a membership there? Maybe $300 a year. And you go to a few meetings, you know. So there's monthly investment if you attend some of the meetings. But whatever the investment is, if my lifetime value of that client is $4,000 just from one client, that means that I can definitely invest in the chamber, and getting one client will be a great payoff. So I evaluate both my investment of my time, whether I'm going to go to a particular meeting or not. Are there some of my clients going to be at that meeting if I'm going to a networking meeting? But it's also the dollars that I invest. I'm thinking about what will the payoff be? So I challenge you to go back and look at the value of your clients. Look at not only one purchase, but the purchases over time that a client would make from you. And think about the referrals that you get from that client as well. So that's all the answers we have time for today, but there are more coming, so be sure to check back soon. This is Cheryl Cook, the Business Growth Coach. Here's to your success.